Today, what am I doing? With her, with her, right? With her, right? I'm gonna close the door so I'm gonna be loud. Same as your blues. Shalom Israel. This is the Israelite School of UPK. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. I'm Natazab, Officer of 500. Tonight is Wednesday night law class, ISUPK Sacramento. And as you know, it's law class, so we will get into the law. But we're not going to get specifically into the law. We're going to get into what happened when we broke this law. How are we in the position that we in right now, being in America, having to go through these fires and COVID-19 and, you know what I'm saying, mass incarceration, what drugs, Percocet, anything that the black community is going through and we suffering through. Why is it that we going through this? You know what I'm saying? One of those reasons is because we don't know who we are. Like it say in Jeremiah, we're going to discontinue from our heritage. Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, we have discontinued from our heritage. You understand? This is one of the reasons why we don't know who we are, and we don't know what laws and what not laws. I mean, basically, what laws we supposed to keep. You understand? Because God, when you read the Bible, first off, the Bible is about the Bible is about the Israelites, who is so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians today. He gave us laws, just like how America has a constitution. You understand? This Bible is Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians' constitution. But the thing is, we don't know that this is our constitution. So we going off of what a whole other nation saying that we can do, according to their constitution. Like, we can eat pork and we can be homosexuals. I'm saying, it's so many laws of the land that they make law, and black people keep those laws. But for some reason, we don't want to keep the laws of this Bible. And I know one of those reasons is why is because Christianity has warped everybody's mind, and really technology and the internet, YouTube, is so much information on there that a lot of people run from the Bible because they know this Bible was used to enslave their ancestors. But what you don't understand is that the whole Bible is about you. The people that use this Bible to enslave us, they manipulated the Bible. You know what I'm saying? They pick certain parts to make you believe it. Like they said, your earthly masters, you shall obey your earthly masters. They was telling that to the slaves. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't talking about you obeying another nation that murdered you by the millions and put you in slavery. That's not what that was saying. That when it said obey your earthly masters, that's talking about a rank system. That was talking about you being somebody that's over you. You know what I'm saying? Just like how all the after Christ died, all his apostles follow Paul. You know what I'm saying? All of them follow Paul because there's a rank system. So when they say obey your earthly masters, it's talking about people that's over you, man. It wasn't talking about somebody that's oppressing you, because anybody that oppresses you and murders you and hang you on trees from city to city, that is an act of war, because you're not the same people. You understand? Anytime another race, whether it's white, Asian, African, Samoan, whatever the case may be, anytime they oppress somebody that's Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, anytime, not even just us, anytime another race oppresses another race, you don't supposed to obey, you're not supposed to turn the other cheek. That's one of the other scriptures that they use in the Christian church that was handed down through slavery. Turn the other cheek. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to turn the other cheek when something like that happens. Men in ISUPK, we don't turn the other cheek, man. We let our people know and the world know, even our oppressors, that they kingdom, that they destroying black people in, and take advantage of Hispanic and Native American Indians, building walls, all that, your kingdom is going to come to an end for what you did to us. We don't turn the other cheek. We let them know you're going to have to pay for what you're doing and what your ancestors done. You understand? Meanwhile, Christianity teach you to turn the other cheek, and like I was saying, these are notions that we got from slavery. That's not in the Bible. You forgive another nation for destroying you is not in the Bible. When it say turn the other cheek, it's talking about if fake like me and you in the club and you step on my shoe, instead of me being like, you know what, this nigga stepped on my Valentino runners, these cost $1,100. Instead of killing you, I'm supposed to be like, you know what, he black like me. It's just a damn shoe. His life is more important than his shoes. I ain't gonna shoot him. You know what I'm saying? That's what turn the other cheek meant. And when you turn the other cheek, you basically giving them another chance not to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give him another chance not to step on my shoe. You know what I'm saying? When I turn the other cheek, you already hit this cheek. I'm gonna give you a chance to not hit this cheek. That's the whole purpose of turn the other cheek. It don't mean for you to allow somebody to put drugs in your community and forgive them. It don't mean allow your women to become like Cardi B and be WAP and all that type of. It don't mean allow those things. It don't mean those things. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the Christian church teaches. So what I'm bringing out is that we suffer all these things that we suffer in America because us being black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian, we are required and we are ordered to keep laws. What laws? The laws that God gave the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And without these laws, we are destroyed. Without these laws, there is no brotherhood. Without these laws, there is no lifelong marriages. You know what I'm saying? Without these laws, kids are not safe. Without these laws, black men and women are not safe. So we have to come back to keeping the laws of God. You know what I'm saying? So we can have a place of refuge. That's all it's about. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get Deuteronomy 27:1. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1. And when I'm going to prove with the Bible that God gave us laws to keep. And when you don't keep these laws, it's a stipulation. You understand? So I'm going to get Deuteronomy chapter 27, verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments. So this is Moses with the elders. After we left Egypt, Moses gave the Israelite orders. And what did he say with the elders? He said, keep all the commandments. I'll read that again. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments. Moses came down with the elders. He told the Israelites. He didn't tell the whole world that you want to forgive. He told the Israelites to keep all the commandments. This is something that the Christian church, our so-called elders and NAACP, and that was a part of the civil rights movement. That was a part of Malcolm X's, you know what I'm saying, whatever he was a part of the Islam. These are something that black people that been in a seated position for over 50 years, they have not been telling black people to keep these laws. But in Moses' time, they told black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, keep these laws. And that's what the ISUPK is doing. You understand? We took on the spirit of our ancestors. We took on the spirit of Christ. And we telling our people to come back to keeping these laws because this is the only refuge you got. It's the only safe haven that you got. Because we tried what Martin Luther King did. We tried what Malcolm X did. We tried so many different things. But no elders and nobody that's in a seat of position or a seat of power is telling black people to keep these laws besides the ISUPK. You understand? I'm going to keep going. But the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And so Moses came with the elders. He said, keep all the commandments which I command you to keep this day. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say you can. It's all up to you. He said, keep all these commandments that I command you to keep. When you command somebody, you tell them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I tell somebody, hey man, tell my kid to close his door, I'm commanding him to do that. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the reasons why we got these laws, first off, the law we've been had the law since Adam. But why these laws were written down in the time of Moses is because when we left Egypt, we already had the law orally. But when we left Egypt, the Egyptians wasn't keeping these laws. Egyptians was lining up. They was hella big into wearing wigs, grown men into wearing wigs. You know what I'm saying? Putting makeup on their face and shaving all the hair off their body. We got laws against that. There was mass homosexuals. We got laws against that. You know what I'm saying? They was killing the firstborn or our children. We got laws against that. They was big on marijuana and wine and drinking too much. We have laws against these things, and all these laws that we got, we knew to observe these laws, and it was something new for us for people that wasn't keeping these laws in Egypt because we were so busy trying to be like the Egyptians, just like how we are. We as in America right now, we too busy trying to be like America, man. And you got brothers in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? We treat it like we back in the wilderness, and we telling our people, man, keep all these commandments that the Lord said to keep. You know what I'm saying? Keep all these commandments, because it's just like how we weren't keeping the Egyptians wasn't keeping God's law. Right now in America, Americans is not keeping God's law. You understand? That's why we should not. What it say? We should not envy our oppressor because they don't keep God's law. They like to hell with God's law. You understand? Meanwhile, it's a Christian church on every single corner. It's a Christian church on every corner, and they paint this image like they just holy and they just follow the Lord, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ that. But not one of these so-called elders or people in the seat of position and the seat of power told you to keep these laws, statutes, or commandments. None of them, because they don't even know why black people in the position that they in. They don't even know why we destroy, we in the condition that we in, because they got the same book we got, but for some reason they don't have ears to hear. They don't have eyes to see. They don't know that we the Israelites. And the ones that do, they ain't gonna say nothing because they want to keep preaching a lie so they can get your money. It's all about money. You understand? So I'm gonna read that again. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. So he said, keep all these commandments which I command you this day. So we got Moses saying, keep all the commandments. We're going to jump down to 28:1. He said, keep all the commandments. So now we're going to what's going to happen if we keep these commandments as a people. What's going to happen? And let me know if we're in that position right now. Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command you this day. So it says this. So he said, it shall come to pass, meaning this shall surely happen. If you do keep all these commandments, this is what's going to happen to you. The Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So he said the Lord gonna set us on high above all nations of the earth. It is said that the Lord's gonna make us equal to everybody else, or the Lord's gonna put us underneath everybody else. He said he's gonna put us above everybody else. And that just letting you know what type of God we actually serve. That letting you know what type of power that we actually serve. He said if you listen to what I said, like an obedient child, then you're gonna be better than everybody. I'm gonna make sure you better than everybody and you on top of everybody because I love you. Only somebody that loves you would do that. Only somebody that loves you will put you in that position. You know what I'm saying? That would tell you these type of things. He said, if you do, because we already got Moses in Deuteronomy 27:1. He said, keep all the commandments that I command you this day. So now we jump to Deuteronomy 28:1. It said, if you do listen to all these commandments, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to put you above everybody else. This is the power and the law, man. This is the power in keeping these laws. If we keep these laws, man, we won't have to worry about none of the stuff that we worry about. We won't have to suffer none of the stuff that we suffer through right now, being in America. But being that we don't keep these laws, you know what I'm saying? We don't get to reap this benefit of being above everybody. We don't get to reap this benefit. Our elders are not telling us to keep this law, that we're going to be above everybody. Anybody that's black with a position of power, they trying to be like the Egyptians. They trying to be like America. You understand? They trying to be exactly like America. They don't see no strength in keeping God's law. They don't see no strength in even serving God. You know what I'm saying? 28:1. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. And so he said he's going to set us on high above all nations if we keep this law. So what happened? If we supposed to be the Israelites, and if we keep this law, we're going to be above every nation. What happened? You know what happened? We're not keeping these laws. That's why we under every nation. You understand? There's nobody black, Hispanic, and American in the United Nations. Nobody's trying to give black people justice for what happened to them during slavery, even though we in slavery. We don't get none of this that happened to us. You know why? Because we below every nation. That's why every nation think that they can come to your community and sell you chicken and rice, and you know what I'm saying, sell you the things that you eat. What a damn Arab doing selling you chicken? You know what I'm saying? But they know that we below them because we don't keep God's law. And they also know that if we do keep God's law, the type of position that we will be in. That's why your oppressor, he know it too. That's why he try to put dope in your community. That's why he put so much propaganda on TV of you being a criminal, and he pay women to twerk, and you know what I'm saying, and pay people to rap about killing each other because they want us to get caught up in that, because they know if we come back to keeping God's laws, that we gonna be above them. Now, what people will put themselves in a position to be under another nation? They're not gonna do it. You understand? Drop down to 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command you this day. So hold on. It said, we already read about what's going to happen if you do keep the commandments. So this is the stipulation part. This is what's going to happen when you don't. You understand? I'm going to read it again. But it shall come to pass, meaning that it shall happen, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. If you don't listen to what the Lord told us to do, if you don't listen to what Yahweh said to do, and do all his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You understand? And that's exactly what happened. Every curse that's in his book and outside of his book, it has taken the black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian household and community. It has overtaken us. Not keeping these laws, these curses has overtaken us. Man. That's why we mass incarceration. That's why brothers killing themselves every day over a street they don't own. You understand? That's why his grandma's crying in the courtroom after the judge hit that gavel and get their grandkids 50 years to life. And they're only 16 years old. You understand? That's why his brothers overdosing off Percocets and dying off syrup, because these curses have overtaken us. That's why we get killed by the police, murdered in the street, cold blood, on video. On video. The video clearly showing you ain't resisting or nothing. And we still don't get no justice for none of these things. You know why? Because we under a curse. Black people are going through what we're going through right now because we are under a curse for being disobedient. And that's what we have to understand. And that's why we need to come out of these religions, these fake Israelite groups. We got to come out of all these things, because this is it's simple. You understand? It's simple. ISUPK brought this out in 1969. You understand? And our people, it's been years later, and our people still not listening. It's been almost 50 years later, and our people still, but they starting to wake up. You know what I'm saying? ISUPK gonna be the biggest radical organization and refuge for Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians on this planet. We growing up for sure. We growing up, but we gotta do better, man. You understand? We have to get out of these religions, because this is the main reason why we don't want to listen to real priests and prophets of the Lord. We don't want to listen to real priests and prophets because we think that we know prophets in the Christian church. We think that we know real teachers and people that follow Christ in the Christian church, and that can be further from the truth. That could be furthest from the truth, man. You understand? So with that, I'm gonna get matter of fact, I'm gonna jump down to 16. Okay, 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. You know what I'm saying? It's not black, Hispanic, and Native American. It's not we cursed in the city. Like you go to Frisco, you go to downtown Sacramento or downtown Oakland, you know what I'm saying? You see brothers and sisters with belts tied around their arm with syringes. You know what I'm saying? Tapping their arm looking for a vein and shoot that heroin into their arm. You see brothers that been up 4, 5, 6 days off crystal meth. You understand? This type of things that you see. You see brothers right around in the car looking for another brother to murder. This is the type of things you see. You know why? Because we cursed in the city. We can't even walk. We can't even get out of our car about to be able to walk into the store without people hitting their locks and looking at us crazy like we finna rob. You understand? We can't even get pulled over. You can't even get pulled over. Period by the police, or you risk dying. You understand? You know why? Because we cursed in the city. Let me see. We keep going. And cursed shalt thou be in the field. And we also cursed in the field. Look at the Hispanic brothers. They trying to, first off, they build a wall for so-called Hispanics. But meanwhile, when you look it up, the biggest illegal immigrants is East Indians and the Chinese. They the biggest illegal immigrants. Ain't nobody asking them for no green card. Ain't nobody building no wall for them. ICE ain't looking for them. You know why they looking for Hispanics though? Because we will curse people, man, for disobeying the Lord as a whole. Not just one of us, but as a whole, we disobey the Lord. That's why we curse like this. We curse in the city and in the field. And then the ones that do make it to America and try to look for a job and feed their family, you understand? The people in a position of power, the supervisors and all these people that run these corporations and 501 fortune companies, they take advantage of the Hispanic brothers and they pay them like the wages that they pay them an hour is ridiculous. Like there's no possible way you can be able to feed your family. But guess what? They still get out there. They get out there and pick tomatoes, watermelons, all your like 80% of vegetables and fruits grown in America is 80% is picked by Hispanics. You understand? 80%, and they paying these brothers $2 an hour, if that. While they get millions of dollars selling into grocery outlet, bargain market, and Walmart, and Safeway, and Kroger's. You know what I'm saying? They get money off of doing this stuff, but they only pay them a couple dollars an hour. You know why they doing that? They able to get away with it because we cursed in the city. We cursed by the Lord for not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? We cursed in the sea and in the field, and then it's a lot of Hispanics and brothers who make it out who don't experience the same thing that we experience, being cursed in the city and being cursed in the field, and they go buy a house and they get rich and get them a white woman and they think they made it out, but guess what? They put property tax on that land, so guess what? You still have to pay property tax, so you don't own anything, right? You still a slave. And that's what we have to understand, man. We got to come back to serving the Lord. Be a slave to keeping these laws, man. Don't be a slave to serving another nation. That's the best way I can put it for you. You know what I'm saying? So scratch that. We're going to go get Deuteronomy 28:32. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people. I'm saying it said thy son. This is one of the other curses. It says your sons and your daughters shall be given into another people. Did not that happen during the transatlantic slave trade? Was not our sons and daughters given into another people? You understand? As a matter of fact, we ain't even got to go that far back. We can go into history right now. It's not the Hispanic brothers and sisters. It's not their daughters and their sons being given into another nation. You understand? They lost 1,500 kids twice at the border. They lost 1,500 kids twice at the border. How you just lose somebody that's being detained? You know what I'm saying? We don't never get lost in the back of a police car when they detain us or put us in a paddy wagon in that police van. We don't get lost, but they losing 1,500 kids twice at that border. You understand? But they ain't lose them. They gave them kids away. You know what I'm saying? They gave them kids away to some pedophiles like Epstein, whatever the hell his name is. I'm going to read it again. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. It said your sons and your daughters gonna be given into another people. You know what I'm saying? That's happening right now at the border. They separating little Hispanic many children from their parents. They separate them. You know what I'm saying? And they don't give a damn who gonna get the kids, who gonna come pick them up. They don't care if you got somebody in your emergency contacts. They don't care about none of these things. They taking these children and they doing whatever they want to do to them, and they also doing it to us too. You know what I'm saying? They charging brothers for crimes on their first offense, 14, 15 years old. They giving them life for committing a crime, all because they hate you, and all because the Lord is allowing them to do this because you don't want to keep these laws. You understand? You don't want to keep these laws. And it said, your eyes shall fail with longing for them all the day long. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that when they say your eyes shall fail with longing for them all the day long, that means that when they take your kids from you, whether it's CPS, whether it's the one at the border, whether it's the police, you know what I'm saying? When they take your kids from you, you're going to be wishing that you could see your kids. Your eyes going to fail with longing. I mean, it's, your eyes going to, you're going to wish that you could see them, and it's not going to happen. You're not going to never see them again. This is what type of society that we in. This is what type of God that we serve. God, this the God that does stuff like that for you being disobedient. You know what I'm saying? You being disobedient, you ain't gonna just have no happy, wonderful life. Disobeying the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And what did it say? And fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. When it say it shall be no might in your hand, meaning that you're gonna be wanting to do something about it. You're going to be wanting to do some hurt somebody about getting your kid, pick up a gun, pick up this, do this, but there shall be no might in your hand, meaning that you're not going to be able to do nothing about it. They're going to take your kids at the border, and they're going to say that, man, you're an illegal immigrant. Watch out, y'all separate y'all, put you in cuffs, take you from your family, even though you've been in America 20 years. And even though California is Mexico, they're going to send you back to Mexico and leave your kids here to fend for themselves. Or to go to CPS. You understand? This was the type of God that we serve. Well, this is the type of God that we have. That if we don't serve Him, He will do these things to you. You understand? And that's what we have to understand as a people. And it might sound like messed up. It do sound messed up. But you know what's even more messed up? That you wanted to disobey the power that created heaven and earth. You wanted to disobey. Nigga, for 2,000 years, we wanted to, over 2,000 years, we've been disobeying the person that gives, that's in charge of life and death. You understand? It is crazy, man, and that's why you have to get out of these Christian churches, because they make this Bible seem like it's a light thing. It's not, especially when you're not keeping these laws. You're in a dangerous situation, and if I was you, I would be scared. You know what I'm saying? And then I will come into the ISUPK and get real refuge. Like it's saying, I think it's in Timothy, if I'm not mistaken. It said, through the terrors of the Lord we persuade men. So like through the terrors of the Lord we persuade men. When we serve a terrible power. He's not nothing to play with. He ain't nothing nice, man. He ain't that God that you wish that you could serve in a Christian church. This is a black God. This is a black father. You know what I'm saying? And He will chastise you for not listening. You understand? Scratch that. I'm going to get Deuteronomy 28:48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst. It said, hold on, it said, what we going to serve who? Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. Most High said, we going to serve, He going to make us serve our enemies. He says, check this out. If y'all don't want to serve me, I'm going to make y'all serve somebody that hates you. Because the Lord, you got to understand, the Lord don't hate us. The Lord love black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. That's why it say in Deuteronomy 28:1, if you keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to be above all nations. But if you drop down to 15, it said, but if you don't, this is what's going to happen. All these curses shall come upon you. You understand? I'm going to read that again. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies. The Lord said, we serving our enemies right now. Them people that came over that jumped us in Africa and then bring us over here, all these people are considered our enemies according to this Bible. The Lord said, if you don't want to serve me, I'm going to make you serve them. You know what I'm saying? He going to make us serve somebody that hates us, because you got to understand the Lord don't hate us, man. Like I said, I think it's in Jeremiah, He said He would rather not kill us. He would rather not do that. But us being black, Hispanic, Native American Indians and being so hard-headed and stiff-necked, we would rather see that outcome. We would rather see the angry side of the Lord. You understand? And that's horrible, man, for you to want to do that. That's horrible. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. The Lord sent these other nations against us. All these other nations are our enemies. And the Lord is the one that sent them against us. They didn't just come against us. You know what I'm saying? The Lord sent them against us. In hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put, you know what I'm saying? He said hunger and nakedness and thirst, meaning that if you hungry, you gotta go to them. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's an Arab spot selling you chicken in every black urban city. You understand? You got Arabs selling you chicken. You got Chinese selling you rice. You know what I'm saying? Chinese food. You got East Indians. So you got all these other nations in our communities taking our money and Slovakia, what the hell? You got all these other nations, Slovakia. I'm saying you got all these other nations that take advantage of us being in our community. You understand? And we don't say nothing about it. And you know why we don't say nothing about it? Because we're not ready to come back to serve the Lord. It don't affect us. We don't care nothing about it, and it's just normal to us because we're not willing to come back and serve our power. We would rather serve them than give them our money and give them our love. All these other nations, the people that the Lord said He sent against us, He said these people that He sent against us is our enemy. But us being in America and this being a melting pot for every religion and every race and every foul thing, we just want to be like everybody else and just, man, ain't no time to hate no more. You should not be like that. That is a coward, weak, sick spirit, man. You understand? Like Captain Kaham said, like, what did he say? Uh, he said, damn, I forgot. Oh yeah. It's like he said, a virus. And Captain Kaham said, a virus need a host to survive. All these other nations are viruses, man. These religions are viruses, and guess who the host is? Guess who the host is that they're surviving off of? You. Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. You understand? Our enemy. They surviving off of you, man. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you. And then, is this not happening? You can look up, you can get your phone and look up slave images, and guess what? It's gonna be a black man gonna pop up in one of them pictures that can pop up, and he gonna have a yoke of iron on his neck. You understand? Because this is biblical. This is something that actually happened. Like people think the Bible is just some fairy tale book and it was written on. Man, this is stuff that actually happened to Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. This is how we able to identify who Israelites are. You know what I'm saying? Not just based on color, but off the curses. That's how you able to understand who Israelites are. Because guess what? There's a lot of black people, but guess what? They don't go through none of this. Africans didn't have no yoke of iron upon their neck. East Indians, dark skinned, they didn't have yoke of iron on their neck. You understand? But guess who did? Black people did. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the Bible that said, and it said this was going to happen if you don't serve the Lord. I'm going to read that again. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you. You know what I'm saying? They actually put a yoke of iron on our neck. This is something that actually happened in history. Look up yoke of iron, and guess who's going to pop up? Black people. Because this is our history. You know what I'm saying? Our history is this Bible. And that's what we fail to realize. That's what we fail to realize. They actually put a yoke of iron on our neck and it said until they have destroyed you. So guess what they did? A lot of us think that we free. We think that after they took that yoke of iron off, that we was free. I got another thing for you, man. I got something that you don't want to hear. We still not free. We still in slavery. Because guess what? After they took that yoke of iron off, and then Abraham Lincoln signed the 13th Amendment, you know what I'm saying, an Emancipation Proclamation, and he freed all the blacks in the South, guess what? That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's why we call the white man the devil, because he is a liar. Devil means deceiver. He lied to you. He never freed nothing. What he did was he made that 13th Amendment stating that if you commit a crime in America, then you are a slave again. You can go back into slavery. That's what the 13th Amendment is about. And that's why now in 2020, we got mass incarceration. Like the numbers don't even make sense how many black people, like if you look at the numbers of how many black men there is in America, and then look at the percentage of us locked up, it is insane. It is insane. You understand? And it's like when you look at it, it's like it's so insane. It's like somebody has to, for this to be true, somebody has to be conspiring against you. And guess what? It's the Lord. The Lord sent these other nations, especially the white men, against us because we did not want to serve Him. You understand? We have to come back to serving Him. We stop being so weak. You're trying to be equally yoked to these other nations when they're heathens and they disgusted and they hate the Lord. We have to come back to serving our power. So when they took that yoke of iron on our neck, they made the 13th Amendment stating that when we commit a crime, then we going back into slavery. And guess what? They made everything a crime. You look at a white woman, that's a crime. Put them in jail, make them build the railroads. Put them back in the prison, make them build the railroads. You understand? It stopped. The plantation stopped being just on these couple acres of land, and they made the whole America a plantation forest. You know what I'm saying? And you know how I know? Because you can't leave them. You can't leave the plantation without having a note. Black people can't leave America without having a passport. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us can't get passports because we felons. You understand? Because we had to build America up, and then you get in prison. You know what I'm saying? And then they give you, they pay you 60 cents an hour. You understand? 60 cents or 50 cents an hour to make couches and license plates and soap and lingerie. You making so much stuff back there, and they paying you cents to build this country up. You understand? Because slavery, when they took that yoke of iron off, they made sure that when they took the iron off, we was destroyed. After they took that yoke of iron off, we didn't know that we was black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians. I mean, we didn't know we was Israelites no more. They named us Negro, Hispanic, Native American, and they named us all these other things contrary to what we really was. And then they made everything a law. So if you look at a white woman, you jaywalk, you spit on the ground, you know, say you use the wrong water fountain, you going into prison for years. That's what Abraham Lincoln did. This is what your enemies did to you. You understand? This is what your enemies did. I'm gonna keep reading. Yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. And I'm saying, it said he gonna bring a nation from way far off that we don't know nothing about. He gonna bring this nation against us as swift as the eagle. Who is the eagle? Who is the eagle? I'm gonna put you up on game. America is that eagle, man. It's swift as the eagle fly. That eagle, every kingdom and civilization that so-called Europeans or white people, Edomites, every civilization that they ever had, their symbol has always been the eagle. Every symbol, whether it's the Greeks, the Romans in America. You know what I'm saying? Their symbol has always been the eagle, man. And the Lord said He gonna send them against us again. And He sent them against us. As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, swift as the eagle flieth, He letting you know who this eagle. He know, if you know these scriptures, you're gonna know that this eagle is talking about this so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? He said, whose tongue you shall not understand. And He's right about that, because prior to Christopher Columbus and all these other Edomites and these other oppressors, we spoke Hebrew contrary to slavery. You understand? We spoke Hebrew. We knew who we was. But they put that yoke of iron on us, and after they took that, they left that yoke of iron on us until they realized we was destroyed. You know what I'm saying? What do we say in Hosea 4:6? You destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Our knowledge left us. We forgot who we was. We forgot what power to serve. We forgot what God to serve. You know what I'm saying? We forgot our laws, statutes, and commandments, and we started serving the guys they wanted us to serve. And that's why ISUPK is so pivotal and so important. You know what I'm saying? Because we crying aloud and we spare not. And we telling our people, you have to come back to serve the Lord. And honestly, the only place to do that is in the ISUPK. You're not going to find the Lord in the Christian church. You're not going to find the Lord in these fake Israelite groups. You understand? You're not going to find the truth nowhere outside the ISUPK. And that's just the hardcore fact. You understand? Verse 50. A nation of fair countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. You know what I'm saying? He said, this nation that's fast like an eagle, you know what I'm saying, that's going to put this yoke of iron on our neck. He said, this nation that I bring against you, that I'm telling you is your enemies, that you will serve, they ain't going to give a damn whether they you young or old. You know what I'm saying? If you black or you look like you being disobedient, they going to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? That's why Tamir Rice was 11 years old and he got gunned down for having a fake gun. Because they don't care about him being old. You understand? That's why you got people, grandmothers getting slammed on police body cam. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't care about you being old. They don't care about these things. They have a fierce countenance, you know what I'm saying? They don't care about these things. So with that, I'm going to get Deuteronomy 28:64. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. This is something that happened to us. A lot of people think that us being scattered, it first happened with blacks. Because, you know, they came from Africa and they came from certain parts of Europe and they came from certain parts of Turkey and they snatched us up and brought us to America, into South America, Central America. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't the first time they did it. Slavery really started with the so-called Puerto Ricans. In the Bible, they called Ephraim. Slavery, the slave trade actually started with them in 1492. Our slavery started in 1619. You understand? And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other. This is something that happened. Chinese ain't scattered from one end of the earth to the other. You know what I'm saying? White people ain't scattered. They chose to come to America. Chinese chose to come to America. The East Indians chose to come to America. We didn't choose to come here. We was brought here. You know what I'm saying? For serving the Lord. We was racketeered here. And even one end of the earth, even to the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You know what I'm saying? They said when we get over here to America, we're going to serve other gods that none of our fathers have known. Meaning Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Israel, they didn't know to serve these other gods. They didn't know these guys. They only knew one God. You understand? But it said when we get here for being disobedient, we going to serve other gods that neither nor us or our fathers have known. What are some of those gods? It said wood and stone. What is wood? Wood is Christianity. That stone is Islam. You know what I'm saying? It was the two main religions that so-called black, Hispanic, Native American Indians worship. You understand? And this is in the Bible. It said that this was going to happen. It said that we was going to serve other nations for being disobedient. So that's what you got to understand. The place where you think you safe at and you think your children are safe and you finding out the truth, and you know what I'm saying, there's so much love in there. You got to understand that the Lord said you was going to do that. The Lord said you was going to serve us. But guess what? You're not serving him, man. And guess what? He has a problem with that. He has a discrepancy with that for you not wanting to be obedient. Like I say all the time, there's no such thing as living an alternative lifestyle. You have to do what the Lord say or die. Do what the Lord say or go into slavery. You know what I'm saying? This is not our first slavery for disobeying the Lord. So once we come to this realization, you have to understand what God you serve and what God actually lives. You know what I'm saying? Because them other guys that you worship, nigga, I will kick a Quran smooth down the street. I will burn a Quran. You understand? You won't see no white image or no crosses in my house nowhere. Because I serve the Lord. You understand? Or no religion for that matter. You ain't going to see none of that type of stuff. Because we said ISUPK, we have been taught to serve the Lord. We have been taught what is righteous. We have been taught no idols. We need to put that on the shirt. No idols, man. That's provoking the Lord to anger. Okay, so let me get Deuteronomy. I'm gonna get Deuteronomy 28:68. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. The Lord said He's gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships. This is in the Bible, man. He said He's gonna bring us into Egypt again with ships. Okay, so Christians, you know, they like to think they're familiar with the Bible. They know the Bible. How many times did the Israelites go into Egypt as slaves? I got the answer. One time. And when this was written, this is when we just left after that time. That was the only time we ever went, when we had just left and Moses was writing these laws down. So why would he say you shall go into Egypt again with ships? Because guess what? America is modern day Egypt, man. America is modern day Egypt. You know how I know? That's why the pyramid is on the back of the dollar. That's why America has like almost everything that the Egyptians did, America does in this country today. Because they mimic their whole lifestyle, their whole ideology off the Egyptians. That's why black people trying to be the Egyptians, because America praised the Egyptians so much. You understand? And you know how I know? Because the Egyptians had black people, Hispanic and Native American Indians as slaves, and they got us as slaves again right now. Man, we enslaved again in modern day Egypt. I'm gonna read that again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way of I spake unto thee. Meaning that you're going to come into Egypt again with ships. And like I said, if you're familiar with the Bible, you understand that that never happened before. We never went into Egypt with ships. You understand? Especially after the first time. We walked out of Egypt, man. It's 90 miles of land. Egypt is 90 miles away from Jerusalem. We walked there. So why is it saying that you're going to go into Egypt again with ships if that never happened in the Bible? You understand? They didn't go into Egypt again after the first time, and they definitely didn't go there with ships. So why is it saying you're going to Egypt again with ships? It's saying that because this is a future prophecy about black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians coming to America. You understand? And not just America. Like I said, we're going to be scattered, going to various different countries. You understand? The Lord said He's going to put us on Egypt, put us on ships again, and we're going to go back into Egypt. I'm going to paraphrase it. But this is modern day Egypt, man. That's why it's pyramids on the back of the dollar. Why is it a foreign country currency? A foreign country symbol on the back of American currency? Because they know this is America. This is Egypt again. They know that they had us as slaves again. You understand? That's what you have to understand. When the transatlantic slave trade started in 1492 with the so-called Puerto Ricans. They snatched 1,800 Puerto Ricans up from Puerto Rico, and they took them back to Europe as slaves. And out of those 1,300, I think only 800 survived. They said that was good business. Or it might have been only 300 that survived. And these devils said that was good business. You understand? But the transatlantic slave trade started with them. Us coming back into Egypt on ships started with them. And then our slavery started in 1619. How did so-called black people, Jamaican and Haitians, get to America? How did we get to America? Was it by car, plane, or ships? It was by ships. So I'm going to read that in the Bible for you again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. You know what I'm saying? This is a future prophecy that the Christian church probably ain't never seen in their life, or they don't. If they did see it, they're not going to tell you. You understand? They're not going to tell you. By the way I spake of unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. It said, and when we get there, we're gonna be sold into our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. That means we're gonna be sold as slaves, men slaves and women slaves. And when we get there, when it say no man shall buy you, buy is an old English word for save, meaning that nobody's gonna be able to save you from the situation that you're gonna be in. You understand? And the Lord said we're gonna serve our enemies. And what it say? And you shall be sold into your enemies. You gotta understand, these other nations, especially the white man, he is your enemy. And it's not something that I'm saying. This is what the Lord said. The Lord said this is your enemy, man. And that's what we have to understand. We need to stop trying to serve our enemies and come back to serving the Lord. Because if we do, all these curses will be lifted. Christ will return, destroy America, put us in a seat of power. Take these politicians and these Christian pastors, and they're going to take their seat of power in this wicked kingdom. And them seats is going to be given to the saints, to the real, true priests and prophets of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? But only way that any of that can happen is if we wake up to who He really is and we come back to serving the Lord. Outside of that, we don't have no refuge, and we just gonna be a victim. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what we have to understand. We have to come back to being a holy people, a separate people. That's what it's saying in Deuteronomy 7:6. The Lord God, thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. We got to come back to being great upon everybody that's on the face of this earth. Not just some people, not just better than each other. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be better than these other nations. We're supposed to be above all these other nations. Like I said in Deuteronomy 28:1. But we don't want to be above these other nations because we want to be equal to them. And that is disgusting. That's why you need to get out of the Christian church. You understand? But with that being said, now I'm going to go ahead in the class. You know what I'm saying? Now just the curses right quick. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Memorial blowing of the trumpets. With that being said, I'm in the class. Shalom Israel, this is Israelite School UPK. Start on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under command and General Yada. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the Zab officer, 50 ISUPK Sacramento. So make sure you tune in tomorrow, blowing the trumpets and Thursday night scripture breakdown as well. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua Brakatham. Yahshua Malakam Bashim Yahshua, all the sisters. Shalom.